all new. AM1150WTMP.com.
All right, I guess that's the fade down. Ain't gotta tell her twice today. She on it. All right, so it's Saturday afternoon. It's 1 o'clock, and your favorite radio host is on the air.
Plural.
Yes, well, your favorite radio hosts
Thank you.
are on the air. This is Porch Talk Radio, and this is your host, Eddie Adams Jr., and I'm sitting here with Gabriel Phillips.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We're gonna do what we do every week at this time.
Stir it up.
We're gonna make some stuff happen. Part of this process is to bring you information. And sometimes this process is about common sense. And common sense is not common anymore. There used to be a time when, people made an effort. If you wasn't book learned, and I mean it the way it sounds, book learned, that's what they used to call it.
Back in the day.
You were smart if you were book learned. But, there was as many people out there with common sense in the community that was just not stupid, that made stuff happen, and they was productive people, and they were dependable people, and the community depended upon these people. So you had the book learned people, and then you had people with common sense. Well, nowadays, common sense ain't common no more. So we're going to go ahead and get the show started. Welcome. The elephants are here. This is Porch Talk Radio, host Eddie Adams Jr. The call-in number, if you want to call in during the show, during the 1 hour program, the call-in number is 813-251-9867. 813-251-9867. If you want to call me,
Ready?
if you want to call me after the show,
Call now.
During the course of the week, you can call me on my cell phone, Eddie Adams' cell phone number, 813-230-3312. 813-230-3312.
There you go. Thank you very much. The Lord bless you and keep you.
Yeah, that's Willie. That's the remnants of Willie out there, calling. He must have had a break and intentionally, is doing what he do. Okay, so those who want to talk to me about issues and problems and concerns, you can email me, Eddie, EDDIE, at Porch Talk Radio. Now that's the website, porchtalkradio.com. So Eddie at porchtalkradio.com is my email address. Okay. Sponsors. Again, we'll get all this out of the way early because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. People gonna call in. I know they're gonna call in because we're gonna talk about the shootings. And we're not politically correct. And I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there, and then we're gonna have this conversation openly. And then we're gonna talk about, how do we make Black Tampa better? How do we improve the condition of black lives in Tampa? That whole scenario that we started a couple of weeks ago. So sponsors. I went to the Hillsborough County Republican Executive Committee meeting, Thursday night, which is when they had the meeting, and Tom Gadens, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago, was there, and he talked about, the show and all the callers we got and the conversations that we have. And the fact that so many people, and I'm saying people in general, not just Democrats, so many people are converting. I mean, it's a fact. Even though they may not want to hear it, and they're in the middle of a presidential campaign to find a candidate, somebody to run against Trump, or somebody to get beat up by Trump. I say beat up, because that's what I mean. Not trying to flower it or sugarcoat it.
Well, that's what's going on, Eddie, right now. If you say that you are for the wrong side, they want to kill you, and you're thinking, wait a minute, when did we get so stupid that suddenly in this nation of freedom, we can't have freedom? And the media is saying that that's okay.
Well, again, this is the time we stay in, and the time we live in, and the political correctness, and the fact of the matter is that the media is trying to do everything they can to assure that there was a Democratic victory, and I mean they've almost guaranteed it. And if everybody remember, don't think back far, just a couple of years ago, it was 9 o'clock night of the election, and they were still saying Hillary Clinton was going to win in a landslide. I'm just telling you. I mean, so don't believe what I'm saying. Just do the flashback to that night yourself. 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. Oh, Hillary Clinton's gonna win in the landslide, the biggest victory in U.S. history, and Trump don't have no chance. I mean, just remember, don't try to put my words in there. Put your own words. Just remember what they were saying.
They're using the same advisors they used for Hillary, for these 20 lost souls right now that are busy duking it out on each other, and they all got so much dirt on one another they can hardly say anything, and they're just up there on stage attacking. Oh, that's right, the only person that's only been there for 2 years, that is the root cause of every Democratic problem. That's amazing to me.
It's okay. We understand, and again, what our position is going to be is we're not here defending the Republican. We're not here, to bash the Democratic Party. I'm just saying, before listen to what I was saying about common sense. Some of this stuff is common sense. Some of this stuff nobody has to tell you. Some of this stuff you can kind of figure out for yourself. And there's folks out there who absolutely hate, and I'm saying hate, H-A-T-E, hate Republicans and hate Trump and hate all this kind of other stuff, and that's negative energy.
But that's all seems to be generated by the media right now, Eddie. They feed it.
And I'm going to tell you this thing about negative energy. Negative energy is evil.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons we got a lot of stuff that's happening. Let me go ahead and get the show.
Come on.
Let me talk about the sponsorship, and then we could get on to evil and the battle that's been going on for years and years and years, at least since the early 60s, late 50s, about good and evil, and since they taken the Bible out of schools and that battle
But
that's been going on.
They'll put it in the prison.
Well,
maybe if they had it in school, they wouldn't need it in the prison.
Well, they needed both places.
Mm-hmm.
They needed a little bit of airwell. But anyway, okay, sponsors. The Hillsborough County Republican Executive Committee, have been with us since the beginning, and this show is well received at the Executive Committee meeting. And Todd Jones, one of our great friends of the show, great sponsors of the show, J.A. Pressure Washing. Give Joseph a call, 813-850-6849. Give Joseph a call. Tell him Eddie sent you. He'll knock off the estimate. He'll give you some benefit. He'll give you some credit, for whatever pressure washing estimate he's going to give you. So that's J.A. Pressure Washing, residential and commercial. And then we got John Desbrow. John got a car lot over there. He's selling cars. He got a print shop. You do any kind of printing that you need. Print fast, 813-621-9444. John Desbrow. All your printing needs. 813-621-9444. All right. I'm on Facebook. I got like 5,000 Facebook friends, and I got a couple other sites that I show up on all the time, and a couple of sites that I kind of fixed this week that would not let me post, to those sites. And I went in this week and kind of, Facebook is one of those entities that monitors what you say to, for, and about Donald Trump. I'm just saying it. I know they do. Most of my comments, most of my posts are pro-Trump, pro-black folks in business. Most of the comments that I post on my Facebook page have to do with how the community nationally I mean, black community is moving itself forward, and still pointing out accomplishments of community of people within the community that are doing magnificent things, and every day more and more folks show up, and again, all I do is point it out. My posts are geared toward specific things. So if you go to my post of something I post show up in your news feed, it's probably going to be something saying something to the positive effect about something that Trump has done or Trump is doing, and stuff that the black community is doing to help itself. I don't usually post handouts and stuff of that nature, because the whole idea is that we're doing enough stuff, we're doing the right stuff, and the condition has changed, and we don't have to kowtow or beg for it. It's stuff that we can do for ourselves, and that's the primary thing that I'm trying to make sure everybody's aware of, that this is a condition that is changeable, and the way we change it is we spend more and do more to help ourselves. I have on my agenda here that we're going to talk about El Paso, Dayton, Ohio, the shootings. I posted something on my Facebook page. I was talking about the shootings, and somehow all of the shootings is about gun control.
Imagine that.
And the place, matter of fact, I posted something that said that last weekend there were 72 people killed and 50-something people injured in the city of Chicago.
Oh, no, wait a minute, Eddie. You're going the wrong direction. That's black people. It's okay to kill black people. The media doesn't care about that. You know that. How do you think Chicago's gotten so terrible for so long? They don't give a flip about it.
What I'm saying is, okay, the same weekend that all those shootings happened, more black folks was killed in the city of Chicago than all 3 mass shootings all over the rest of the country.
You think we could have heard from Obama say something about it, you think?
No, Obama's there. I think he lives. I think he got a house in Chicago.
I bet he's wearing bulletproof vests.
So I mean, part of this whole conversation, part of this whole thing, is, my comments to it. And I had some people who go to my Facebook page, who monitor my Facebook page, because the same trolls, and I do mean trolls, people who never have anything positive to say about anything I say. So I'm assuming that their whole purpose is every time I say something for them to make a comment. I think that's what a Facebook troll is. Never let you have the last word. And I don't kick them all off. I have kicked some. I have cleaned my Facebook page some, because again, if you want to make a comment, that's one thing. But make it a decent comment. Add to the conversation. Don't just call names like a lot of people do. A lot of people get in and just call names. Okay, if you want to make a comment, make a comment. Don't get in and just call names. If you call names, I'm gonna kick you off my page, because you're not adding. You're just doing the stupid thing that a lot of people do. Because they don't have anything intellectual to say or add to the conversation. They don't want somebody else to comment, so they just get in and call some names. Well, that won't work with me. I'm just saying.
No, I can't stand that.
So what I have said, and what I'm saying to people about the shootings, it is not gun control. It is not folks with just guns. It is the like thereof of God in their lives.
The lack of, okay.
The lack of God in their lives. Because these folks who are killing folks, we're not politically correct, so I'm going to say the obvious. These young white males who have decided they have come to the point in their life where they want to kill some people, but they're not all prepared. I'm saying all, because when you gear up and you put on helmets and armor up and all that kind of stuff, you want to shoot people, but you don't want to get shot. And if you get shot, you don't want to die. Okay, well again, it's something, off You know, and I'm not saying it's mental illness. I'm trying to tell you it's evil. EVIL. You know, there's good and there's evil. And there's evil people walking the earth and more evil people. And I'm going to just tell you now, I'm going to get a whole bunch of people going to get pissed and upset with me now because I'm going to tell you the Democratic Party is evil.
It has become, Eddie, and
It is evil. It is fighting God every day.
And right now, if you just looked at what all they're promoting every day, they are promoting, and this is, and we're not talking about everybody listening to us. We got a lot of good people listening to us, Eddie.
Oh yeah.
But we got a lot of people that just, I'm not sure what's going on, but if you just took long enough to just think about it, and you would see, even Donna Brazile just came out a day ago or so and said Donald Trump had nothing to do with the El Paso, Dayton shootings. I mean, she's even saying, well, no. But yet on TV, what we see portrayed in the media, Democrats violently attack Trump supporters, threaten to kill Trump supporters, call Trump supporters racist and Nazis, make moves about hunting and killing Trump supporters, and somehow they say we got the nerve and Trump's...
I'm talking about good and evil. I'm talking about good and evil. I don't give a crap
That's
about...
terrible.
I don't give a crap about them cutting down Trump and cutting down Republican and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about good people and evil people. And the people who can get a gun, sit down, plot, go kill a bunch of folks, people like the guy in Vegas a couple years ago who got him a military weapon, stapled, nailed that thing to the floor, got up in a chair and shot people. I'm just saying,
That's crazy.
That ain't got crap to do with Trump and Republicans and nobody. That's somebody that said at some point in their life that they want to kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I mean, that is not a good thought, and that ain't mental illness. If I'm mentally ill, and I'm, most mentally ill people, you got to save them from themselves. You ain't got to, go out there and keep them from hurting a bunch of other people.
And it doesn't matter what party they belong to. If they're mentally ill, they're mentally ill.
Yeah, they mostly dangerous to themselves. They ain't dangerous to 200 or 300 people because they're not going to go in that crowd and decide, okay, how do I kill the most people? Mm-hmm. They ain't even like the cowards that blow themselves up over in Saudi Arabia and some of those other countries where people sign a pact and say, okay, I'm gonna go kill some people because Allah want me to kill a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. Okay, that ain't the same kind of thought that's happening here because them people, somehow over there they don't mind.
That's a mission.
They're on a mission. Yeah, they don't mind going with them. I'm gonna kill a bunch of people. I'm gonna take a bunch of people with me. These guys want to. I'm saying these guys are little cowards. They're cowards because they want to kill a bunch of people, but they don't want to die. Mm-hmm. They don't want to die. And then every blue moon, and we having this conversation. I'm serious. Every blue moon, when it's all said and done, one of them will shoot themselves after it's all done. They ain't shooting themselves because okay, I'm ready to die. They shoot themselves because they find themselves in a situation where somebody gonna walk up to them and just shoot them in the head, and they rather it be themselves, and that way they control everything. Because again, that's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. It's good and it's evil. It's having that devil on your shoulder on one side and that angel on your shoulder on the other side, and what you're trying to do is you want to control it. That guy who walked into that federal building and killed 138 people, men, women, children, the whole nine yards, made those bombs out of fertilizer, made those bombs out of nitrates and all that kind of stuff. That's evil. I am saying it, and I'm saying it to everybody. And I want you to understand that there's evil in the world.
Big time. And
it's growing. And the battle has been fought for good and evil. And how do you fight that battle is, you try to extend the olive branch to as many people as you can, because nowadays, it used to be a time when you can literally, walk up to a stranger, and that person would speak truth and you can have a conversation with them. Nowadays you walk up to a person and start having a conversation and you say something they don't like, they do to pull out a gun and shoot you.
Take you down right there.
And that has nothing to do with gun control, because Chicago and Detroit and Washington, D.C. probably got the strongest gun control laws in the country, if not the world.
So it's the person you're saying, Eddie. It's not the physical weapon, because the physical weapon, if anybody loads a gun and put you between themselves and somebody else, who's that gun going to shoot first? Well, nobody. It's an object. It's the person controlling it's a problem.
You don't need a gun to kill somebody.
Well, that's true.
I'm just saying.
London has an outrage. It's just people stabbing each other right now.
It's a bunch of people.
Because they took their guns away.
It's a bunch of people, will make bombs. It's a bunch of people have system where they can make bombs and kill. Matter of fact, last couple of years, you got people who got in a van, drove down a crowded street, and killed a bunch of people. So, I mean, we can get creative with killing people if you are an evil person. And I'm saying evil because you don't hear that word a whole lot. When you fight someone and you mad at someone because that person is godly. I'm saying godly. And Christians have been persecuted all over the world, and the time, has come, and you have different times in history where people have been persecuted because of their beliefs and their religious beliefs. But again, that battle has been raging. It's going on. It's constantly going on, and there's no end in sight. And what has changed? It is more accepted. It is glamorized.
Well, the more you hear about it, the more you see it on TV, the more you play it in games, the more you see it everywhere, Eddie, you just get desensitized to it.
It's glamorized. It's not just being desensitized to something. You get desensitized to abortion. You get desensitized to killing babies. Used to be
That's acceptable now. That's okay.
It used to be a time when that was unheard of. The society will not allow you to kill the most helpless ones among us. And now, I mean, I'm gonna say this, and I know a whole bunch of people are not gonna like it. Matter of fact, maybe you get a phone call. Black Lives Matter. Well, if you want to say Black Lives Matter, then you should be posted, in front of these abortion clinics. Cause they're killing more black babies than they are anybody else.
More being aborted than are being born right now in this nation, Eddie. And the black community's what? They just allow no big deal. And where's the black churches?
Well,
they just, I don't know what's wrong with that.
Well, I mean, you ain't gotta be a black church. You ain't gotta be a black church.
But they're supposed to care about life. They're supposed to care about life.
To defend abortion.
And they're silent.
You ain't gotta be a black church. That's not.
Silent.
Not a racist statement that I'm making.
I'm saying that they involved in their own people can take it out.
The church.
They should be involved.
The church and the institutions that are godly.
Take money from politicians, I guess, and feeding it. I don't know.
They all represent a presence. And that presence is not a good one. It's a bad presence. And as regular folks living and walking and breathing and doing what we do and showing up in church every Sunday, there's a lot of stuff that never gets mentioned in church. Why? Why do that stuff not get church? I'm gonna tell you, I'm old school. So, and again, I'm not gonna sit here and preach to you, but I'm gonna tell you one thing that I learned, when I was young, when I was a kid. The church had one purpose. And that purpose was to take the people back to God.
Mm-hmm.
And
back in the day.
And that's what it lived to do. And if it helped you and change your way of thinking about everybody else along the way, that was good. But the main purpose of the church was to take people back to God. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, you got parties who are really, I don't know, how somehow that all these good, godly folks decided that the party that's against God, the Democratic Party, has literally time and time again have said, we want to get rid of "In God We Trust." We want to get rid of God. We want to get, church and state got to be separate institutions and all this kind of other stuff. And again, that all started because when I was a kid, it was all one big thing. You did the prayer every day. You did the pledge every day.
In church, in school, in games.
They call that indoctrination. So
and that was evil now.
Somehow, that was bad to say positive things about your fellow man and
your fellow student
and and all that kind of other stuff. But we have been fighting that battle on them, and I hate to say it, the bad guys are winning. And the less morality this country have, the more and more dangerous it's going to be to leave your house, leave your dwelling, leave your abode, leave your school, leave your church. I mean, they're attacking churches now. It used to be a time, in this country, where you was in church, you was pretty much free. you pretty much, unless you're black, I forget about the time in which the KKK was bombing churches, black churches and stuff like that. But again, that was a specific set of people, and we knew why they were doing what they were doing, and everybody. I don't think nobody considered the KKK a institution of religious freedom. I mean, they may have thought they were doing God's work, but nobody else thought they were doing God's work.
And I'm thankful majority of that has quieted down in some parts. You just said that right, in some parts. The Democratic Party has shut a lot of that down finally, but it's still happening. But right now, Eddie, we just go forward with all the good stuff. The media is continually 24/7 playing that it's okay to be hateful, and every of the 20 politicians that are representing the Democratic Party today for 2020, every one of those are not only for just abortion, they're for abortion the day of birth. And they represent the American people that are on that party. And as of right now, the American people have not said boo to say anything different and say, yeah, that represents me. So when I hear people today say, oh, the Democrats, oh, really? Which one of the 20 are you for? They all have the same message, Eddie. There's no difference. Hate Trump, hate anything conservative, and abortion. There's nothing, and hate America. I just don't get it.
Well, again, the issue is never as simple as people make it. Again, to survive this long in this country, and I gotta say, every time I speak, I talk about the 246 years of slavery that happened in this country. I mean, people can forget it. People can rationalize. I mean, the Jim Crow years. It was 99. 99 short. One year short of 100 years of Jim Crow law, and the whole Jim Crow thing was about. Okay, well now we got these black folks who are actually free. They was chattel. They was like cattle. Matter of fact, in some places black folks were less than cattle and pig and livestock. They served the same function, same purposes. And so in 1865, when we actually, even though it was 1863, we had the Emancipation Proclamation. It took 2 years for all the black folks in America to get to be free. From 1865 to 1964, we had laws that particularly targeted black folks and made them second and third and fourth class citizens. I mean, that's what the whole Jim Crow thing was about. And a lot of people believe wholeheartedly that Jim Crow was fair and good and decent and it came from decent people. Well, it didn't. And I'm just saying. And because of that, and once you diminish life or diminish someone else's life, that's kind of how we got to this point where people have now took it upon themselves to say, I'm going to go out and shoot a bunch of people. Or I'm going to go out and shoot a bunch of Hispanics.
And make it acceptable. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean,
it's okay.
It's a state of mind. It's a state of mind because once you shoot that first person, your adrenaline and your anxiety and all the things in your life that has been telling you your whole life that this is wrong, that stuff go out the window. And once you start, until somebody physically come and stop you, you meet your quota or your goal, all the folks who you thought you had 20 years built up of hatred in for you, all your office workers or postal workers or folks who did you wrong. I mean, they've got shooters who have shot their family, got in a car, drove down the street, shot their wife's family, got in the car, drove down the street, went to their office, and then shot all them for. I mean, that's a lot of killing. That's a lot of anger buildup. That's a lot of hatred. And that's negative energy. And once you lose control of negative energy like that, ain't no telling what you can do. I am not trying to lecture you. I'm just trying to call out some good old stuff that used to be common sense. That negative energy, any kind of negative energy, once it builds up. I was at a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about Democrats and Republicans and Trump, and this person stood up and was screaming and yelling and was calling out how bad Trump is and all the stuff that they have done. And you can kind of see veins popping out in their face and their neck. I'm just telling you, you don't have to tell people that you hate somebody. If you're screaming to the top of your lungs and your veins and stuff are popping out, and this person ain't done anything to you, not personally. I mean, Trump ain't came and slapped you or your family members or anybody in your family. I'm just saying, you know, I mean, for me to hate someone, they got to physically have encountered me and done something to me. I mean, and that's been my whole life. I mean, I've never hated people in general, because hate is hate.
Well,
Hate will age you. Hate will make you old as quick as anything else will, because that's the negative energy, and your body only knows how to dispel, you know, negative energy. So it runs through your whole body. You may end up with cancer or something. I mean, a lot of these diseases, you know, result of build up, you know, frustrations and hatreds inside your body.
Well, hate and bitterness are a tag team, Eddie.
Yeah.
And once you get one of us started, the other one takes it. And for me to drink a glass of poison and look at you and say, I'm going to drink this poison and you're gonna feel it. Well, guess what? You fine. I'm dead. And people, and again, folks, this is, Eddie's trying to talk about common sense here. Please understand, something is always feeding something. If you're feeling hateful, what are you watching? What are you listening to? Who are you hanging around? Something is feeding something. Now, if you're getting God's word in you, you're listening to Christian music, you're going to church regularly, I mean at least once, twice a week, and you're being involved in the church and you're hearing positive things going in, well, guess what? It's difficult to be hateful. But if that's missing in your life, and you said, you know what, I don't got time for God, but I got time to watch terrible, mean, hateful news 24/7, which is on now, unfortunately, for everybody on the planet, guess what? You're going to become hateful, bitter person to be around. It's not going to be worth the darn to anybody. You sure it ain't good for God, because he can't make use of you if you're going to be hateful and bitter. That's not anywhere on anything he can use, anywhere in his word.
Garbage in.
Yeah,
Garbage
and
out.
people just pay attention to this. They just listen to this crap all the time. I don't care what channel it is. You call it CNN, you call it Fox News, shut it off. Go walk around your neighborhood. Go talk to the neighbors. Find out who just moved in next door. I mean, folks, you gotta just shut the garbage off.
Well, again, okay, so El Paso and Dayton, Ohio, you know, those young white males decided, you know, that their lives was not what they had wanted them to be, and somehow it was everybody's fault, everybody's responsibility except their own, and again, these guys didn't go out with Mary Jane, Sally Sue, Bobby, you know, Bubba, you know, with folks' names on their mind who they want to particularly go
correct.
kill.
Yeah.
They just want to go kill. And again, you know, when you're a kid and you're killing cats and dogs and rats and pulling wings off flies.
Rats, now wait a minute. I give an exception for rats.
Yeah, wings off flies and all that kind of other stuff. You know, it is something, and psychiatrists say, okay, well, if you're killing and you're abusive to animals and creatures, you know, like that,
Pets.
you're going to grow up to not understand the difference between killing people and killing animals.
Mm-hmm.
And those are facts. So I'm just telling you, these guys who now all of a sudden, and they're, you know, these ain't old white men. These ain't white men in their 50s and 60s. You know, these are people in their teens and 20s and 30s. I mean, these are young middle-aged white men. The young white men, males who have come to the point to where, you know, I don't know if it's testosterone or what it is, but whatever it is, you know, it gets to the point where they can't control it, and they feel the need to punish. They feel the need to go outside of their normal fear, their normal circumstances, and punish the world. I mean, cause that's the only thing you can, because it ain't just the guy you shoot or the girl you shoot. You know, they got a family. They got loved ones, people who love them, and now they're missing that person for the rest of their lives because you took them away and you don't give a crap about nothing. You are a disaster yourself, and you've been waiting to happen for a long time. These people don't go crazy overnight. And I ain't trying to politically correct crazy. I'm just saying, they've been waiting. They've been some of these plans. Some of these people are scheming. I mean, some of these people are like Ted Bundy. They just have an evil streak in them, and they're planning the opportunity to how to actually kill folks and get away with it.
And make it happen. And again, it just, you keep seeing that now. The three white guys, they all had mental issues. So that never seems to be brought in the picture. And it took an old white man, President Trump, said, why don't we include mental illness somehow, a check on that if people have had a history in that, they can't get a weapon. I mean, he's sharp to begin with, obviously, but yet why didn't these congressmen come up and say that? Hey, let's include the mental thing.
If you're going to kill somebody, you don't have to buy a gun. I am straight.
No, I got that, but he's saying because right now they're trying to take guns away from us, Eddie.
Years and years and years and years.
And the gun's not the problem. It's the people, the crazy ones.
The political correctness thing, and then we're not trying to get into political correctness here, is that we got to figure out how to change the hearts of people. You got to change their heart. If they don't have God, they don't have humanity, they don't have morality. I mean, things that you used to get in school. You didn't just get some of these things at church. You got some of this stuff in school. And all the kids in the United States of America go to some kind of school. School is mandatory. You either go to private school, or you go to a charter school, or you go to a public school. Even if you're home trained, there's curriculums, and part of that had to do with establishing basic right and wrong, establishing basic, this is good, this is bad, and if you do something bad, you should feel bad about it. You shouldn't feel good about hurting innocence, and that's okay. I've talked about that for 35 minutes now, so I just want to make sure that folks understand that these people who are shooting and killing people, I'm saying they're evil. These are evil people. No matter how you dress it up and coat it up and make it look good and come up with all kind of excuses in the world, it's evil, and they have grown to the point to where they're going to express it. I'm one of the people say if a bad guy got a gun and you got a good guy with a gun, you got a standoff. If the bad guy, the only one got a gun, you can get a whole bunch of people dead. You got a whole bunch of funerals.
Eddie, and with that, as you're saying, you're trying to close that up, I can just look at the numbers here back from Ronald Reagan years, and if we added up all the numbers from Ronald Reagan, Bush Sr., Clinton, Bush Jr., there was literally, during the Obama administration, during those 8 years he didn't do good with the police. He didn't like the police. I got that. He never came down to support them at all. But out of all the past presidencies, during the 8 years of the Obama administration, there was 162 mass shootings. That's almost 3-5 times what the past had happened. But during those 8 years of the tearing apart of our police, is when people begin to realize, you know what, I can go kill as much as I want, and I won't get in trouble. Eddie, that's the only thing I can say for that 8 years. During that particular administration, something happened that people suddenly began to hear a different message. It's supposed to respect the police, pay attention to the police, don't get in trouble with the police. I don't know, but in that 8-year period, something happened that right now, our chickens have come home to roost.
All right, now, I'm going to change the topic. We're going to go to,
Happy things.
On Tuesday, August the 6th, there was a publication that ranked FAMU the #1 public HBCU for 2019, which means last week, not 2 years ago or 3 years ago, or next week, or however, these things. FAMU, that's Florida A&M University was ranked the #1 public historically black colleges and university. Was ranked #1. And that's an accomplishment. And I know there's a lot of FAMU alumni out there who knew that. And a lot of you guys maybe didn't know it. But I'm just saying that's a feat, considering, all the times that you had legislators and folks around the state somehow it was trying to put FAMU and Florida State together and get rid of FAMU and do all the things that they've done over the years to try to get rid of FAMU, and FAMU is still there. And congratulations to the faculty, staff, and student body, and the alumni, because that's an accomplishment, and we got to look at those accomplishments, and pat those folks on the back and give them, attaboy, for the good old white folks, attaboy.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you do good, you somebody should recognize that you're doing good, and that's a feat, and that's a good thing. Within this community, what we need to go ahead and mention that the SuperBowl is coming, and they got committees that's working on that right now. All you guys with good ideas, all you people out there who need to know where to send or what to do, you're smart. This community is smart. In 2021, Raymond James Stadium is going to be home to the Super Bowl. Tampa, Florida is going to be home to the Super Bowl.
Some chance for somebody to make some money.
It's an excellent chance, and hundreds of millions of dollars is going to be made right here. There's no reason this far out, and one of the reasons I keep mentioning it is because if you're going to be a part of that celebration and you're going to be a part of that money fest, you got to start now. You got to start planning. You got to figure out, how and who and where you need to go to, and it's not always the NFL, because the NFL controls a big pot of money. But if you got a good idea and you got a spot on the street and you can get your license from the city, county, state, whoever, controls Himes Avenue and MLK and Dale Mabry and whatever that other little street is that goes between the stadium and the parking lot. I mean, all that space is going to be available for you to do your thing, whatever your thing is.
They need to hurry and figure it out, Eddie, because there's people that are going to be here in town that have money to burn, and they're going to be spending on hotels, on food. People got food trucks. People got them little kiosk things they can walk around with, handing out hot dogs, like in Chicago baseball stadium and all that stuff. There are just so many ways people could make money.
Well, they got drones. They got all kind of skateboards. They got the new scooter things. There's a lot of stuff that's happening in Tampa Bay. So again, you just gotta get your time schedule right. You gotta come up with the idea. You gotta, manipulate the idea to the point where you can figure out how you can make some money off. Who's your target audience? And then, set your timeline for your products and material so that when it comes, you don't run out. See, that's one of the worst things. I set all this up and I know it's coming and I got 2 years. And then right in the middle of making all this money and stuff, you run out of product or material. You can't do that. It's always better to have too much than not enough, because you can dispose of it after the fact. But to run out while your opportunity is there, there's poor planning. So again, WWE, WrestleMania, it's going to be in Tampa next year. So that's something else that you can think about as a moneymaker. Coming to the Tampa Bay area. Use this opportunity to make some money. And I'm not talking about little bits of money. I'm not talking about West Tampa and East Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about use Tampa as a whole. We got a new mayor who looks at Tampa differently than the old mayor did. I'm telling you, because we had a meeting with her last week, she's doing a national search. Again, I may have something
Calm down.
to say, to get a black deputy mayor. So that's what she said. So her conversation about having a black deputy mayor is still ongoing. They're in the process of doing a national search. Not that they don't have anybody here locally, that they can immediately appoint, like what happened over in Pinellas and St. Pete, where the day after the election, that person over there was in place and been doing a great job ever since. I'm just saying, it's a little bit more politics to how they do things in Tampa, Florida, as opposed to St. Petersburg, Florida. Even though the concept and idea are pretty much the same, and the communities, don't have that much difference. I'm just saying, she didn't not poo-poo the idea. She didn't say, no, I'm not going to do it, and I changed my mind. She just say, it's going to take me a little longer than has happened in the past, and maybe, how I choose to do it is a little different than the way it's been done before. So again, I have absolutely nothing negative to say against Jane Castor. Jane is going to do a good job, but she's going to do it in her own way, in her own time.
As long as we got results, that's what counts.
So I know, and I realize that. And she's going to be 98% better than Bob Buckhorn. I'm just saying.
Come on now.
Because she will listen. Jane will listen, and she will give the different communities within Tampa the opportunity to improve themselves. And she's not going to be standing up there cheering against one community over another community like has happened in the past. So, to the black community, this is the opportunity that I've been talking about for a long time. We're going to have some, Porch Talk Radio is going to have some posters that you're going to be able to acquire that say proud black business owner, or proud black business.
51%.
Proud black business. And you're going to be able to display those. And we're doing the Black Index, for those who don't understand how this is done. We're going to come up with an index. We're currently working on that. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, which was the Black Wall Street, they had 600 black businesses. Well, when we get 300, we're going to publish this document. We're going to make it available to the public. And then it can grow to 1,200 or how many black businesses we got. But we want to include everybody in this document. And that's what we're calling the index. Because it's going to be free. There's no fee. All you got to do is sign up, or have somebody in your church sign you up, or you can sign yourself up and get folks to use it. That's how we change our own future. We change our own future by making it our problem, not somebody else's problem. I hear people on the radio constantly begging for the city, county, state government, to come in and give them stuff. And nobody, I'm just telling you guys this outright, nobody gives you anything for free. City, county, government, state, school board, all those folks expect and have got it scheduled so that if they give you X number of dollars or X number of dollars is spent, they already know how that money's coming back, what shape, form, or fashion they're going to recoup that. And again, it's not just charity. Charity has died. I hate to say it, but it's one of those things where if you are lucky enough for somebody to give you something, you better understand how they plan to get that back. Because it ain't free money no more. It ain't free anything anymore. And housing, and I hear a lot of shows talking about housing because everybody wants housing. Well, again, having a house is a debt. And that person who gives you the house, allows you the house, if they ain't giving you enough money to make the monthly payments, or to be able to buy your medication, be able to buy food,
how about maintenance?
Feed your kids and your animals.
Houses break down.
The whole idea, again, the scenario is that getting in the house is the easy part. Maintaining
keeping it roof, plumbing
is the issue. It's the issue. And if you ain't got a plan for how you make that payment month 2, month 10, month 20, month 36, month 74, then you don't need a house. And even for the people who are renting, renters in Hillsborough County, some of them are paying $1,200 a month rent.
Oh yeah.
And it's a whole bunch of houses. You can make a house payment for $1,200 a month, but you can't get in the house for $1,200 a month.
No.
Cause that's just one bill. You still gotta eat, you gotta maintain, you gotta have furniture, gotta have gas. I mean, it's a whole lot of stuff that go with that. And what you actually need is somebody, and the city's trying to do some of this stuff, is to have these sessions where a person sit down and talk to you about how you get in the house and then how you stay in the house. That's the issue. It's not how you get in, it's how you stay in. And more folks are understanding that. And that's the issue. And people take advantage of black folks because if a unmarried woman has 5 or 6 kids, she can pretty much be manipulated to do anything she needs to do to take care of her kids. And a lot of times that involves making commitments and obligating yourself to stuff that person knows you can't afford to do. But you're going to commit to do it because you think you could do it because they got you in one of them situations where they're selling you stuff. And I'm give you 10 of these if you give me one of those. And they're working this thing out and you're being pimped. You're being used. You're being worked.
It's good to have advisors, and we've had quite a few on here that Eddie's brought on, people that know real estate. People know what's a good deal, what's a bad deal, what's a good area, what's a bad area. That's familiar, and the Bible talks about having advisors. So always have advisors. If you're looking at a property, get some people know, some realtors that know what's going on. You need to contact Eddie up here. Eddie, who do you know? He knows quite a lot. He can find somebody. Get an advisor. Go look at the property. And talk to a financial person, okay, a bank. Okay, well, how's this going to work? And get these advisors to give you advice for you to go, I can do that, or I can't do that, or maybe my timing isn't right. You know, as long as you've got the right advice, you can make the right decision for your long-term self. And Eddie's talking about renting here. There's people that rent all their life because they don't know any better, and they're paying a lot of money for somebody else's property. So they can drive that nice vehicle down the road.
Yeah.
So it's for Eddie saying, why keep some money in your own pocket? Learn how to save it, but it has to be a good deal. Find you a good advisor. If you don't know, ask us. We'll be glad to help.
Well, spending money within your own community become the key situation here. And like I said, if you heard my show last week and last couple of weeks, you know, agents work 85% for other agents. That's part of what they do.
Splitting commissions.
Well, it's keep the money within the community.
Yeah.
You know, so again, that's a community. When a lot of times we look at blacks, we look at Hispanics, you know, we look at Asians, look at Jews. I mean, all these are separate communities, and they all have different cultures. But the one thing that's been economically proven to work is spending money with your own people.
Yeah.
So again, if that offends anybody, tough crap, you know. Because at the end of the day, that's how a community helps itself, spending money within its own community.
Because there's money, because you know, Eddie, every time Sunday service happens, that church is going to take that money from their collection plate somewhere. They're going to go somewhere with that money.
Take it to a bank, and the bank won't return the money to the community. So
yeah.
So that money is lost forever.
There you go.
It happens every Sunday. That giant sucking sound is all the money.
Hispanic banks is the same, minorities the same thing. We dumping our money in the white banks, and there goes the money, and the Hispanic community, some of them look like crap.
And you get redline.
Oh, come on now.
So anyway, okay, we're gonna take this time now. We got a minute. We're gonna do on this day in history. So for those folks who are regular listeners to Porch Talk Radio,
there we go.
This is something we do all the time, and some of this stuff may not mean a lot to a lot of you guys. It's more trivial. But I learn every week when I do this because there's always stuff that come up that I didn't know about, and it's stuff that happened, and we do it each week. So on this day, August the 10th, 1821, Missouri became the 24th state in the Union. Right, see, I didn't know that. On
They
this
still
day,
don't have their shoes on.
on this date, August the 10th, 1846, the Smithsonian Institute was chartered by the U.S. Congress. The nation's attic was made possible by a $500,000 being given by a scientist by the name of Joseph Smithson. So the Smithsonian Institute was named after Joseph Smithson.
So, okay then.
On this day, August 10th, 1921, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was stricken with polio. So this is the day he got polio. This is the day he started his trip to the wheelchair and never recovered. On this day, 1810, on this day, August the 10th, in 1927, Mount Rushmore was formally dedicated. The individual faces of the presidents were dedicated later. Now that was a battle that went on. Now, if you remember, but some of you guys may not remember, but the only modern face that's on Mount Rushmore is Roosevelt, and he was the president who made it happen and did a lot of the lobbying and the legislating for it, because a lot of folks felt that, between George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, I mean, those were great presidents for all Americans for all time. And how this current political figure, get his name on the face, with these guys, that was politics at its best. So, so I'm gonna just go ahead and throw that out there. 3 of them should be up there, and 1 of them is questionable.
They're all Democrats.
So-
No, they're all Republicans, aren't they?
So I'm just saying. Okay. And last but not least, on this day, August the 10th, 1945, the day after atomic bombing of Nagasaki, Japan, they announced that they would surrender.
Something about dropping on things makes people change their mind.
And the only condition was the status of the emperor, Hirohito, would remain unchanged. So they was concerned about America imprisoning and doing something to the emperor, since they had lost the war. They wanted to make sure that the emperor wasn't punished, nothing particularly done. He wasn't changed from being the emperor, and it's just this whole nation. And if you ever look at Japan, out of all of the countries, I'm just saying, out of all of the countries in Eastern Asia, Japan is the smallest one. It's an island. But they literally enslaved, captured that entire coastline. Every country on that coastline at some point in time was under Japanese rule. So again, sometimes it's not your might or your money or your size or whatever it is, it's what's in your heart. So
And back to the presidents, we had out of that Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore, which was a Democrat, and Abraham Lincoln. Okay, that's who the 4 were, and those are the 4 founders, they said.
Yeah.
For our nation. That's pretty awesome.
Well, again, they was historical nationally beyond their time, and so it's only one up there that.
I think there's enough room on there. Looking at the picture now, they can put Trump right there on the end of it.
Yeah, that's a product of their time. So until next week, folks, when we do this, play this lovely game again.
Absolutely.
And we bring some more information.
Bring the truth to your front door.
And more excitement and about this whole thing that we do here in Tampa Bay. Same bat time, same bat station. We'll be back next week. Matter of fact, next week I think we're supposed to be in Silas Green all day. Doing a site visit for the radio show for the radio station. So until that time, see ya.
God bless America.
Love you. Bye bye.